imagine rest and Helen Moss in YouTube, and it will pull up my channel. And what I try and do with these chair yoga classes, when I've remembered to press record, which I have, and turned on my speakers, which is often what I forget to do, I put them up on there so that you can practice them again if that is something you'd like to do. But we are going to get started as it's just gone 5 past, and we will get going. So I've just muted you all. If you see me coming towards the screen at any time, it's probably just because I'm letting someone into the space. So don't worry about that. And in fact, I'm just going to stop up the camera up top being a little less wonky. So over here, just checking that you can hear me okay and that you can see me okay. If you can't, unmute and let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to imagine that you can all see and hear me all right. Great. All right, lovely. As always, do as much or as little as you would like. As much or as little as you would like. And know that everything that I offer in this space is, as always, just an invitation. But that you really do know best. You are the authority on your body, on what you can manage and would like to do today. So rest when you need to, do a little more if you want to, and also remember that if the body doesn't want to do the movements, actually imagining doing the movements, closing the eyes and imagining the movements happening will, for a certain period of time, have the same effect as actually doing the movements themselves. So it's never a waste of time, your wonderful imagination. But let's start. Yeah, let's get warm. I like that hand. Let's do that. Let's do what Anne's doing. Let's rub our hands together. Oh, a bit cold. February morning here this morning. Rub the hands together. And then let's use those hands. Let's maybe bring the hands onto the neck and shoulders. We like to start this way sometimes, just to bring a little rub onto the neck and the shoulders. And it's usually quite a lot of sensation for most of us around the neck and the shoulders, where we hold a lot of our tension. And maybe even bring the fingertips up onto the scalp and just make little circles around the scalp, through the hair. I've got that very fine heating's been on hair, so it's super static at the moment. So this is really going to help. Move it around a bit. And then maybe with light little fingers, just tapping onto the face, just tapping around the face. Really lightly, just under the eyes, around the bones, around the eyes, onto the forehead. Little taps and then down across the cheeks and the chin. Let the jaw drop open. And as you tap, you can hear the sound. So becoming aware of the sound of that tapping, as well as the feeling of that tapping. And then rubbing the hands together again, get a little more heat. Let's stay with that little massage for the face. And let's just stroke, so bringing the 2 index fingers to the eyebrow center and stroking down and around the eyes, up to the corner of the eyes and then down the cheek, down towards the chin. And then repeat, index fingers sliding up towards the space between the eyebrows. You can go around the eyes or under the eyes. And then back up to the corners of the eyes and then tracing the jaw and the edges of the face just down to the chin. And then just welcoming in Naomi again. I think she dropped out there. And just using the hands really just to massage the face in a way that would feel nice. How like the face like to be touched and massaged today. And then maybe welcome back Naomi, take a little bit of a yawn or a sigh, wiggle the jaw. And feel free to get quite active with moving the jaw. It's a way of stimulating this parasympathetic nerve, the vagus nerve. Yawn or a sigh. My cat's watching me. Used to that noise in this household, a bit of a yawn. Knees and feet from Naomi. Yes, absolutely. We'll do some knees and feet work as well. Thank you. And now that we've just sort of brought maybe a little bit of softness into the face, brought our attention into the body by using the hands, let's just allow us to orientate to the space a bit more fully. So we might just again just take a gaze around the space, letting the eyes bring our attention into this room. And as we move the eyes, we might also like to move the head and even look behind us. We've talked about how the nervous system likes to know what's behind us. It can help our sense of ease. And then maybe just looking down towards the body. And we might, as we use the hands to stroke the face, we might just use the hands just to stroke down the arms. In no particular way, you could choose a way that might feel nice. You might like to give a little squeeze around the shoulder, squeeze and release down through the arms, through the elbows, through the forearms, into the hands, little squeeze and release. Maybe twice on each side, and you could decide how firmly you wanted to squeeze and release. Just really doing this as a way of just feeling into the body. Just noticing how the body feels, but also as a way of bringing us into the present moment, because we're feeling, we're not thinking, we're really feeling this body. All the way down to the hands. And we could do the same with the legs, so we could apply a little bit of pressure to the heel of the hands, and we could stroke the legs from the hips to the knees, starting on the tops of the thighs. And then we could move that to the outer edges of the thighs. So if I sit to the side, you can see I'm just sort of stroking the outer edges of the thigh. And then we could also, if we wanted to, do that to the inside. So we could make circles. We could stroke from the hip to the knee on the outer edge, roll the heel of the hand to the inner edge, and just really applying as much pressure as you want. Otherwise, just feeling the warmth of the hands on the body. And then we could just give the legs a little bit of a wiggle. So I've got my hand, my thumb and my forefinger across my thigh, and I'm just literally, with my legs all floppy, just rolling my thigh bones in and out, just bringing a bit of, you may or may not like this sensation. I don't mind it. Let's come down to the knees. Use the hands to just circle around the knees and bring some warmth around the knees. And then we're going to take both hands over to one knee, and we'll use the edge of the hand, edge of the palm, and kind of we could stretch the leg out a little bit in front of us and just really rub and get some warmth located around that knee. However might feel good, and do the same on the other side. But this time of year, the joints really, could benefit from some extra natural oils being added into the diet, but also some kind of, just more warmth and mobility movements, definitely. And then if it speaks to you, if you can reach down towards the legs, the lower part of the legs, the calves, you could begin to just stroke the calves as well. And if that's a bit far away, you could always lift the leg up if it's comfortable for you to bring the leg onto the other leg for support, and just give a little massage around the calves. And again, if it's comfortable, we could bring the feet up, so we could rest one ankle onto the leg or onto the chair, and just give the feet a really good rub. And maybe curling the toes, so using the hand to draw the toes back towards the leg, flexing the foot, and then going the other way. Using the thumbs behind, on the ball of the foot behind the toes, just massaging at the base and then down through the sole of the foot. And then a little rub around the heel, so using one hand to give a little rub around the heel. Bit of warmth, bring the foot down and do the other side. So we're just starting today with a little bit of a all body massage inspired by Anne, and the rubbing together of the hands. And not forgetting, that we have our hands that we can use to tend to ourselves. We so often tend to others, but actually we can use these hands to look after ourselves. And then when we're ready, letting the feet come down and really feeling the feet heavy on the ground. So really feeling the feet heavy on the ground. Let's have a last little rub of the hands, and maybe the hands feel really nice and warm now, and just massage the hands themselves. As the doers of the mind, these hands that take care of so much on our behalf, do so much for us on a daily basis, these incredible hands. And then it might be nice to rest the hands somewhere on the body, where it speaks to you, maybe that you just want to rest them on the legs. Maybe that you'd like them around the belly, or maybe you want to give yourself a bit of a hug this morning. Just rest the hands wherever you would like them to be. And if you're giving yourself a hug, you really could squeeze for a moment and then release a little. Really feel that hug as if you were hugging your dearest friend. And then just take a few easy breaths in the body. You can bring the arms wherever you want them to be. Take a few easy breaths in the body. Maybe a sigh or a yawn. One more breath in that way. Yeah. And then let the hands just come and rest. And let's come back, let's bring our attention back down to the feet. And let's tuck our toes under. So I'm going to tuck my toes under. If I sit to the side, you might be able to see more clearly. So I'm resting the weight of my feet, my knees rather, onto my toes. Really lively sensation in the feet. And then bringing the feet back down onto the floor. Feeling that sense of relief as we take the pressure and the weight off the toes. And then repeating again, just tucking the toes under. Getting a very rich, bit like a ballet dancer, isn't it, this position with the feet. Really rich sensation, stretching through the front of the ankle. And then bringing the feet down. And then bringing the legs a little bit out in front of you. You may wish to sit onto the edge of your chair. I've turned to the side so it's clearer. And flexing the feet really deeply. In fact, I'm going to turn the chair around. So really flexing your feet, drawing your toes back towards you, feeling that stretch through the back of the legs. And then pointing the toes and seeing if they'll move towards the ground. And then just repeating, flexing the toes. And then bringing the toes towards the ground. And don't worry if, we often think with these kinds of movements that we have to do what someone else is doing. This is just how my body moves. This is not how your body should move. So if your body looks very different, or the legs are bent, or the feet don't touch the ground, don't worry about it at all. Just enjoy whatever movement is possible in your body this morning. Really nice. And we'll just take that a couple more times. And then slide the feet back onto the floor. Slide the feet back onto the floor. Now we can pick up and hold one leg, or if it's too much to hold, we can just slip it over the other and cross legs, and we're going to rotate through the ankle. I'm going to make really nice big circles through the ankle, so we can hold and rotate if we want a little bit more effort, self-supporting, and holding the leg up, making sure you're going both ways, listening if your ankle's anything like mine, for all those cracks and grinds. And then bringing that foot down, just having a little notice one side to the other, and then doing the other side, so either crossing the leg and rolling the ankle, or holding the leg. You could just lift the heel up and roll, but it may feel a little bit more awkward. And you could watch the foot, you could listen to the foot, all the while just being aware of your breath. Easy breaths. Good. And then bringing the foot all the way down towards the ground. Well done. And let's now bring the left knee up towards the chest. So we're going to interlace our fingers and catch hold around the shin, if that's a comfortable thing to do. And we're going to lift the knee up towards the chest and then let the knee just drop away. And again, it may come nowhere near, or it may just come a little way. It doesn't matter how far it comes, we're just rocking this knee towards us and away. And let's do that on the breath out. So as we breathe out, hugging the knee in, resting when you need to, otherwise taking a couple more times, just hugging this knee in and releasing. It's a little bit like doing child's pose on the ground, and then letting that left foot find the ground, and it's welcoming in Sarah. Welcome Sarah, welcome as you're joining audio. And let's do the same on the right side now. So let's interlace the fingers, catch hold of the leg somewhere around the thigh or the shin, and just rock the knee to the chest. Welcome Sarah, nice to see you. And those
Hi, thank you for letting me in. Apologies, I'm a
Oh,
bit
you're
late.
very welcome. Yeah. Please join away. And we're just taking some simple movements on the chair this morning. So I'm just going to pop you on mute unless there's something you want to say to me before we get going. Okay, she's done it. You've done it. Thank you. All right, and then just let's let that right leg come down onto the floor. Let's stretch the legs out again in front of us. Comfortable distance apart. So my legs, I'm going to lift my toes up and slide onto my heels, but you may prefer to keep your feet on the floor, but just finding a little bit more space in the back of the leg. So I'm going to stretch the left leg away. Bring the sole of the right foot onto the floor. Bring the sole of the right foot onto the floor. And then I'm going to reach my arms up towards the sky and take a breath in. The arms can go as high as you want. They can come out to the shoulders or all the way up. Lift the face up to the sky. Really reach up into the fingertips. And then as you breathe out, you're just going to fold a little bit forward from the hips and bring the hands down onto the legs. Down onto the legs. And you can rest the head. You could even just lean onto that front leg a little bit if that would be helpful. Don't press onto the leg that's long. Just rest gently with the hand. And then let's lift the chest here. So keeping the hands on the body, lifting the chest, looking a little forward, trying to find a little length in the spine. And then walking the hands back in and up and bringing the sole of that left foot onto the ground. And taking a moment once again just to notice one side to the other. So that's as we bring the weight of the body forward, we're exaggerating that stretch through the leg. Let's step both legs a little bit longer again. Maybe the sole of the foot stays on the floor. Maybe you want to lift the toes of the right foot up now. So the right leg is long, left foot is grounded. Let's draw the toes of that right foot back, flex the foot as we reach the arms up. Find the breath. Really lifting up into the fingers, however high the arms have gone. And then as you breathe out, taking a little lean forward from the hips and letting the hands rest onto the legs. And you can rest the head for a moment and round the spine. And then we're going to grow, what I call grow the spine. So from here we're going to think about making more length between the tailbone and the crown of the head. So we're lengthening through the front body, looking a little forward, feeling that the spine is growing out of this curl into this line. And then we're going to walk the hands in and come back up. Bring the hands onto the legs. So often we start with the top and we work down, but we're starting with the bottom and working up today. All right, and let's just come on to, I'm just going to check what Naomi said about, what was that part? So knees and feet. Right, well, we've done a little bit of feet. Let's get on to the knees. Okay. So let's just sit our bottom maybe towards the edge of the chair and take the feet a comfortable distance apart. And let's just sway the legs from side to side. And as we sway, we can roll onto the inner and outer edges of our feet. So you can, again, look at the body. Watch it as it moves. As you find your breathing. So it's almost as if the watching of the body is like a little mindfulness in looking, a little way again of staying present in the body. Then drop the legs a comfortable distance to one side. So you need to be comfortable resting the weight through that knee down onto the edge of the foot. So you can organise the feet in any different way if you want to. We're going to take a little twist. So my pelvis is twisting towards, looks like towards the left here, and I'm going to go into that twist with my spine. So I'm going to bring my hands around onto the outside leg, and I'm going to open my chest and take my head around all the way into this spiral. All the way around into this twist. Take a breath or two. See if you can find a little softness through the face and the shoulders. And then come back with the spine first. So don't move the legs, just come back with the spine, with the head. Come back to center and then move the legs. Begin to roll the legs to the other side, watching and feeling that moving to the inner and outer edge of the other sides of the feet. I'm twisting now towards the right. My pelvis is twisting. I'm going to bring my body around towards the right and just rest my hands on this right leg. Take my head around to a comfortable place to look over that right shoulder. Soft through the face. Take a few breaths. And then coming back around with the chest first. And then bringing the legs back to center. And keeping the feet a reasonable distance apart. Then bring the knees in towards one another and then roll the knees out. And you can guide the knees with your hands. And you can watch the legs again. So as you take the knees away, you might roll onto the outer edges of the feet and feel a little length through the thighs. And as you roll the knees in, roll into the inner edges of the feet. And so you can exaggerate by moving the feet as well. So as you roll the knees out, you could lift the inner edges of the feet. And as you roll the knees in, you could lift the outer edges of the feet. So you could really be quite active through the ankles. And also this is really working into the hips. And as well as looking at the body, you could rest the hands on the body and feel it moving under the hands. Feel it moving under the hands. One more in this way. And then come to neutral and let's bring the feet closer together. Let's bring the feet closer together. And we're just going to work some really simple knee extensions. Really simple knee extensions. So similarly as we were doing before, we're going to take hold of the right leg and hold it underneath the thigh this time. And we're just going to straighten and release. So if it's too much to hold the leg up, you could just slide the foot along the ground and you're just straightening and bending. Otherwise you're holding the leg, self-supporting with the spine, and you're just looking to find as much length as you can. And we're going to floss the sciatic nerve, which sounds like a funny thing to do. It is a funny thing to do. So as you extend your leg, point your toe. And as you bend it, flex your foot. So draw your toes back towards you. So point your toe, and as you bring the leg in, flex the foot. And this way, it's said that we are moving the nerve within its house, within its sheath, which lives in the back as one really long nerve from the sacrum all the way down the back of the leg. A couple more times. You rest when you want to. And then let's bring that foot down. But we're also just extending and flexing at the knee joint. Let's do the same on the left side. Holding the leg nice and long in the spine, pointing the toe as we extend and flexing the foot as we bring the heel closer to the body. And you could watch this body of yours. Look how much movement it can do, these unusual movements. As you also feel your breath, just staying present with the breath. And one more. And then bring the foot down. And let's just take a moment. Let's pause for a moment. So important to pause. We could rub the hands together again, as we did in the beginning. Place the hands wherever you might like them to be on the body. It might be that you just want to give yourself a hug. Maybe that you just want to rest them or bring them onto the belly. And just take a few of those easy breaths. Feeling that as you breathe out, you can welcome in a moment of stillness. And amongst all this movement, a moment of stillness. A couple more breaths here. Feeling the ground, feeling the chair, feeling the body, feeling the breath. And just finding little moments of stillness. It may be flickers where the body feels still. Maybe even a flicker where the mind feels still before a thought jumps in. And then when you're ready, just releasing the hands, maybe just give a little flick and loosen up for the hands. And let's come and get into the hips a little bit. Let's get down into the hips a little bit more. So I'm going to sit onto the edge of my chair, and you may wish to, but this is really for the demo so that you can see it more clearly. We want to get a bit more space into the front of the hip. So what we can do is also, I'll show you an option again if this isn't available to you. We can tuck the toes under. So I'm working on my right leg. Tuck the toes under and slide the toes a comfortable distance behind the leg. And you'll feel a sense of opening coming in the front of the hip. Now, if this is comfortable, that right knee could slide quite a way down towards the ground, but make sure you feel really stable on your support. And if you're here, this is still really useful. It's still really useful. Take a little lean back. We're just looking to get a little bit of space into the front of the hip. If you're comfortable too, we could breathe in and take the arms up. And as we breathe out, palms face towards the same direction as your face, and then bend your elbows. Bend your elbows, and then we could breathe in, reach the arms up. You might like to look up, and palms forward, bend the elbows as you breathe out. If it's too much with the arms lifted, just focus on the breath and let gravity bring that opening to the front of the hip. And we'll take one more. Breathing in, reaching up. Breath out, palms forward, elbows back. Yeah, lovely. And then we can use the hands to bring the foot onto the floor. Have a little listen. Maybe there's a feeling that we can notice in the front of the hip. We've just worked in the one that we haven't. I'll switch to the other side. I'm going to take the other leg back. Tuck the toes. Slide or use the hands to move the knee a little bit back so you're comfortable in the knee and the foot, and there's a sense of space. Be steady in your seat, and then if you want to, breathing in again. Arms could come really wide. They could stay in front of the face. And as you breathe out, palms facing forward, elbows coming back. And just move in this way with your breath. Just doing what feels natural. Maybe you naturally want to look up. Maybe you just want to imagine moving the arms and just stay with that effortless release through the hip from gravity. Maybe once more. Brilliant. And then let the hands come down, and let's use the hands to bring the foot back onto the ground. And now, so we've done a little bit for the front of the hip, we've done a little bit for the internal and external, and now I feel like we need to get into the bottom a little bit and have a little bit of a stretch, because we can get really tight in here and it can refer and create some back pain. So for this movement, we are either, the option one is just to step, and this is actually, well, that's my left foot. I'm going to step my left foot towards my right, and then I'm going to roll onto the outer edge of that foot. Now, if it's possible for you to, keeping that knee rolling out from the midline, I'm going to then pick up that leg and I'm going to place it onto my right thigh. Now, this may not be a possible arrangement for you, so staying here with just rolling onto the outer edge of the foot is fine. You could also rest it onto something a little bit lower, but it's also lifted like a side of a footstool or a chair or a cushion. See where that leg is happy to go. And then we're going to take a little fold forward. So again, if I sit to the side, how far forward you come is up to you. Make sure your other foot that's on the floor is really steady. Take hold of the legs in some way and lift your chest and look up towards the sky. And as you breathe out, you're going to hinge forward from your hips. So keeping the spine as long as it can be, you take a little fold forward and you'll probably feel some quite lively sensation coming in around the hip. So you only come as far forward as feels okay in the knee and feels okay in the ankle. So you may be working a little bit here. And just feeling that sensation. Take a breath or two. Take a smooth, slow breath. And then walk the hands in, coming back up, bringing that foot down or coming back onto the sole of the foot, and just noticing how it feels again as you sit just with both feet on the floor. And let's do the other side. So I'm going to step my left foot towards my right, Let the left knee fall out to the side, so I'm opening through the inner part of the thigh. And then if I want to, I can take that foot and bring it onto my right thigh. Making sure the knee and the hip are happy. I can hold on to the legs for support. Lift the chest, and this may be enough. This may feel really lively, just lifting the chest. Or if there's space, you could fold a little bit further forward from the hips. So just bringing the weight of the chest forward towards the legs, and just keep that smooth and steady breath. And just feel that sensation maybe radiating through the hip and the thigh. One more breath. And then let's walk the hands back in. Good job. And bring the hands down. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a bit of a yawny day there, Anne. I know, I feel the same. Even though the sun's come out now, let's give the legs a bit of a wiggle. You can support the legs and give them a shake, or you could just give them a little bit of a shake. However feels good. Feet on the floor. Just make them feel all loose and wobbly. Have a little wobble. Yeah. And then with the feet comfortable distance apart again, let's just take some circles through the pelvis. So we're going to work into the spine a little bit now, up towards the neck and shoulders. We're going to circle through the pelvis with the spine. So it's as if the spine is like a nice big wooden spoon in your grandma's soup pot, and it's stirring around, and you can feel the weight shifting through the pelvis. Front and the back and the side, little massage, changing direction when you're ready. And as you move, you could really begin to let the shoulders get involved, so you could bring the shoulders forwards as you come forwards and bring them back as you come back. You could really begin to let the head be quite free. Just move in a way that feels really delicious for you today. Maybe it's really slow, and maybe it's really small. You could take a little swing just from side to side. And then we're going to move with the spine from front to back. So you can carry on, but if I sit to the side just so it's a bit more obvious. So we could round the spine and drop the head. And then we can move into the front of the pelvis and squeeze the shoulders and lift the chest. And tuck the tailbone and round the spine, maybe drop the head. Move into the front of the pelvis, lift the front body, lift the face, squeeze the shoulders. And just take a couple more. Rocking through the pelvis, front and back. Rocking through this pelvis. Make this your last one. And then come back to a nice self-supported spine and just bring the legs a comfortable distance apart. Drop the hands off the body or off the chair and just give the wrists a little bit of a flick. Arms a little bit of a flick. You could take that flick a little bit higher. This might get a little bit tired, so feel free to keep the arms nice and low. If you're just flicking the arms out to the side, and then see if you can open your palms, spread your palms, and just turn the palms up and down. See if you can just turn the palms up and down. And then see if you can turn the palms up and roll the inner parts of the elbows up towards the sky. And then maybe even roll the upper part of the shoulders up towards the sky. Maybe even open your face up towards the sky. And then can you turn your palms down? Turn your palms down. Roll your elbows forward. Roll your shoulders forward. Yeah, keep going. Roll the upper back. Maybe let the head rest. And then start with the palms again. Turn the palms up to the sky. Roll the inner elbows up. Roll the shoulders up. Feel the chest open. Feel the face. Maybe you want to lift to the sky. And then we'll just from here, we will let the arms come down. Squeeze them up towards the shoulders and drop. And squeeze them up towards the shoulders and drop. And then we're going to take a little back bend. So we're going to, if I sit to the side, sitting more again onto the edge of the chair, choosing to have the feet on the floor or the legs a little bit long, so the feet further away from the chair. Bring the hands behind us and hold on to the side of the chair. If it's available to you and you want to, you could interlace your hands behind your back, and you're welcome to keep your elbows really bent. But whether you're holding the chair or holding the hands, feel that you're squeezing the shoulder blades a bit towards one another, so you're getting quite a rich expanse across the top of the chest. And then lift the spine up and look up. And if it speaks to you today, and it doesn't have to, but if you want to, you could then look down at the feet and begin to fold forward, knowing that you're not going to fall off your chair because you're holding on with your hands, folding forward. And when you've come to a comfortable distance forward, you could also look up again. Feel that stretch. Take a breath. And then walk the hands back in again. Yeah. And we're going to take a forward fold over the legs. So again, feet can be really on the floor. We're going to reach up with the arms. As we breathe out, we're going to bring the hand down onto the legs, palms or elbows. And we're going to rest the head and let the spine round. And you might feel that you want to drop your hands down your legs and really bring your chest towards your legs, or you may prefer to stay much higher and be just in this very gentle expression of this shape today. But take a couple of breaths and let it all go. Couple of breaths and just let all that tension in the spine, in the shoulders, just imagine that the breath is carrying that tension away. If you've come quite far down towards the ground, really taking your time as you come up, coming up nice and slowly so that your blood pressure can adjust. There's no rush. And bring the spine so it's nice and upright, but let the head still be dropping a little forward. Feel that stretch along the back of the neck. And take a couple of little head rolls from side to side. Couple of little head rolls. Really feeling all that sensation coming alive in the neck and the shoulders. Really trying to keep as much self-supporting length in the spine as possible. And then let the head hang, maybe give it a little shake. And for the last time this morning, rub the hands together. And then again, give a little massage around the neck and the shoulders. Massage around the neck and the shoulders. How might the neck and the shoulders and even the head want to receive just a little massage in this moment? Use your hands to show a little tenderness towards the body. And then just have a little shake. Whatever needs a wriggle and a shake, have a little shake. And then in the last 15 minutes, we're going to have a nice relaxation now. So you might choose to stay seated, or you might like to transfer to lying down if that's available to you, with a support under the knees and under the head. You might like to lie back on the couch and just put a cushion underneath the knees, or even lie back on the bed with something underneath the knees. If you're going to stay in your chair, it might be nice to bring the back of the chair towards the wall so that you could put a pillow behind your head and shoulders so that you can kind of rest against the wall, and also maybe one across the belly for you maybe just to rest your arms and shoulders on too. And maybe tuck the pelvis a little, let the legs come forward a little bit. So again, this space in the front of the hip can find a little bit more room. You might like to dim the lights, or if the shape that you're in makes it possible for you to wear an eye bag, if that speaks to you, you could let that happen. I'm going to get a little bit closer to the screen as we move towards this last part of class together. So just settling in. Yeah, settling in. Making sure that you are warm enough. You are warm enough. Our body temperature drops as we lie still, so it may be handy, even if you feel a little warm now, to have a blanket around in case that changes. And knowing as always that you are really welcome here. It's always such a pleasure to spend this Tuesday morning with you, those of you practicing live. I'm so genuinely glad to be here with you. But I also believe that the earth herself is genuinely glad that you have shown up to rest upon her with no agenda, to take up this rightful space that is always reserved just for you to simply rest upon. And you can come into this space with anything. However it is for you today, you are supported by the ground and you're welcome. There's no burden too heavy that cannot be supported by the ground. So let that kind light of attention that we normally put out into the world and onto others, let that kind light of attention now come towards you as you explore the support that the ground and the props beneath and around you are offering your body. Feel those places of rich contact between your body, the supports, and the ground. Feel that firm, steady, and silent support. And then maybe notice those places of lighter contact between you and the supports, the air and the ground. Maybe noticing those places where fabric touches skin, where the air touches the skin, or even where the body feels just a lighter touch on the ground, maybe around the fingertips. As if the ground rises up to meet your body and the air moves in to hug your body. So that if your body would like, and with no effort required, it can lean back into that support just by breathing out. If it would be a nice thing to do, you could take a few breaths out and feel your body settling as much as it would like into that support. Feeling that breath out. And we could, if we wanted to, come into relationship with the breath, knowing that where we place our attention is our choice, and we can put it wherever we want, whenever we want. But if it would be a pleasurable thing to do, to feel the breath inside the body, you could do that now. Just to notice maybe that simple movement of the breath. Breath coming in breath going out. And maybe, if you would like, that breath out could carry that soft light of attention into the center of you, wherever you feel that is. And in this place, we return to our resource. And this is something that we have all the time, that lives within us, that we can return to whenever we want, for comfort and a greater sense of ease. And our resource is our well-being. And we create it first through words, maybe choosing words that describe our sense of well-being. Maybe calm, or strength, connection, or space. And as you choose your words gently, maybe you notice images or pictures arising that support these words. They may be memories or imaginations of how it would be and where you would be, that you would be experiencing these words. And as these words and pictures come to mind, maybe you might feel also within the body itself a feeling of well-being. Maybe it's a flicker, or maybe it's really richly felt. Either way, it doesn't matter. Just to make space in this moment to call forth your sense of well-being in words and pictures and the felt sense of the body. And as you notice pictures arising, you could really embellish that picture with colours, temperature, whether you're inside or out, what the weather's like, whether you're gazing into a picture or whether you're inside that picture and who else might be there. Maybe it's just a colour or a shape. Your sense of well-being, your resource, unchanging and ever present. And we can imagine now, if you would like, that we could travel this sense of well-being by the way of our attention through the body. And if you want to move your attention to a different body part than I mentioned, feel free. But we could almost carry this well-being by the light of our attention now into the spaces of the head, to the forehead and across the cheeks and the corners of the eyes, through the nose and through the mouth and through the ears, into the back of the head and the top of the head, the side of the head, the jaw, all the spaces within the head. Down through the neck and through the shoulders, across the back of the shoulders, the top of the shoulders, inside the shoulders, the top of the chest, all the way down the right arm, all the way to the wrist and the hand and into the fingers, each one in turn. The thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger and little finger. Whole of the right hand, right arm, shoulder, and then to the left arm, all the way down the arm and into the wrist and into the hand and into the fingers in turn, the tip of the left hand thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger and little finger, whole of the left hand and left arm, both shoulders together, shoulder blades, the right side of the back, the left side of the back, and the whole of the spine, the whole back together, the whole of the right side of the waist, the whole of the left side of the waist, the whole of the chest, of the belly, of the pelvis, the whole of the center of you together. Moving down into the right hip and all the way down the right leg, into the ankle, into the foot, and into the very tip of each toe in turn. The right big toe, first toe, second toe, third toe and little toe, the whole of that right foot, the whole of that right leg, moving over to the left hip and all the way down the left leg, into the left ankle, into the foot and each toe in turn, the left big toe, first toe, second toe, third toe and little toe, the whole of the left foot, the whole of the left leg, both legs together, the whole of the center of you, both arms together, the whole of the shoulders, the neck and the head, the whole of you supported and welcome and resting here and now. If you would like in this moment, you could let go of any effort of attention, any effort of following my voice, any effort of thinking, just for this moment. And wherever possible, as you let go of effort, making space for stillness. Maybe it's just the stillness of the body. Maybe it's that pause between the breath in and the breath out. Maybe there's even a quality of stillness in the mind, even if it's just a flicker. And this point of stillness in your day. Know that as we close this practice, you can return to your sense of well-being and stillness whenever you want, through your imagination, your intention and your breath. Just taking a few moments now to travel from this relaxation back out into the world, fully awake and present. Maybe using the body to rock, to wriggle, to stretch in the shape that it's in. Maybe using the eyes to open and close. Maybe even moving the tongue in the mouth. Maybe taking a yawn or a sigh. Give yourself a lovely big hug if that speaks to you. Wrapping the arms around the body or the knees to the chest. Oh, and taking your time nice and slowly just to roll to the side. This practice has come to a close. Thank you very much